Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Whiskey Soured. Libations of Conversation. It's your girl Dominique, and I have my beautiful, beautiful friend, Miss Annie Miller. I'm gonna call
Hello.
you that. I won't say your government.
My government, yeah. We'll just, keep
Yes,
it for the family and friends.
like literally because um the previous episode I had my boy Mike on there from the Free Roots. And
Hmm.
he was like, I'm really proud of you for not calling me Mikey. I'm like, whoa, this is kind of a professional setting. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
together. Let me be great.
We all just to get the message out, we have to use that platform, and like that's the whole point of using your platform responsibly. So
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta use the name that gets the most views, I guess,
Yes.
and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell the world who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay. Well, I go by Annie Miller. I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. I was raised in St. Louis.
Hey.
And yes, that's what brings me and Dominique. That's what bonds us because we're from St. Louis and we know the mentality there. Um, but I am a singer songwriter, choreographer, voice actress, and actress. I've done it all. I continue to try to do it all. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I've been in LA for 4 years.
Only
It's
four?
been a roller coaster.
Only four?
Yeah, it'll be 5 in June of this year.
Wow. I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah, no, I've been here for 4 years. I think our mutual friend has been here longer, so it might seem like I've been
Yeah.
here. Yeah, but yep, no, yeah.
LA is definitely a roller coaster, like you said. We definitely experienced those times. I'm just like now I'm on like the up and up and up
Mhm.
and up. So I'm like, Lord, please don't let there be a drop anytime soon.
We ain't got time.
I can't
We
take
don't have
nothing
time.
else.
I don't need nothing else. Lord, we fighting today. We trying to get through today.
Listen,
So
it's always every day. I just wake up. I'm like, I got this. I can do this. I can do this. I can make
right.
this. Because I am smart,
Yeah.
I am kind, and I am important. So
Yes, girl. I'll be sitting in that bed for an hour looking at the ceiling like, all right, okay, yep.
can I get out now? Oh,
Maybe
no, let me
yeah, maybe 30 more minutes because I'm
well, how are you? We talk about like so many things that bother us, and I feel like that's where we really, really connect. And I feel like where
Mhm,
you are an extension of me, and I am of you, because we
mhm.
share. It's like, girl, look at this. This shit. So
We're constantly reposting each other's things or what inspire us. To answer your question, I'm good. I'm glad the world is challenging the government. I'm glad people are speaking up, no matter how uncomfortable it may seem. I know everybody wants to, once we get through one hurdle, everybody just wants to blanket everything is good. And it's like, nope, there's still more to do. And I think people just have to kind of get used to the fact that we're never done. We're never done working. So the whole rest thing is, I guess, when you take a vacation and you turn your phones off. And even then, like, you're faced with an issue, you have to address it. And I think our generation specifically, into the Gen Z
mhm,
generation, we're really using that using our voices, that voice chakra,
yeah,
and speaking up more and asking more questions and not just accepting things as is. I think the generation before us had to do certain things or had to put up with certain things. But now our generation, we're exposed to way more.
right.
We know what it's like to play kickball and we know what it's like to be on the computer and stay on the phone all day. We've kind of experienced both. So it's not really much you could kind of convince us at this point. We're like, yeah, there's some things we got to change. So um, I'm good. I'm just ready to get to work. That was a
So,
long-winded I'm good, but yeah. Yeah.
listen, you would have been back at work had these motherfuckers done shit right, but that's another story for another day. but you know.
I digress.
So the other day you called me and
Hmm.
we were talking about images and filters and alternate things.
Yep.
And it kind of comes back into play of a lot of the things that we are currently seeing in the media, where there are certain images that are consistently being pumped out.
Hmm.
And I think that even when we see, like I said, Snapchat, uh, IG, TikTok, and how things are really fucking with people's like mental state, you know?
Oof. Yep.
Because I don't know if it's just that we are kind of different
Hmm.
in the sense of I've always been able to navigate social media in a healthy sense where I have not let it take over and I won't allow it to take over my life. And
Hmm.
I realize that it's not real. So it's strictly
Yeah.
for entertainment. And I think that there's a huge disconnect with, like you said, the Gen Z and even some people in our brackets, which would be like millennials,
Hmm.
that are having a hard time discerning like what's real from what's fake. And it's really has taken over their lives.
Whew, yeah. I mean, just I I know the story that I posted in my Instagram where I was like pretty much really aggravated with the filters. Like all the filters are narrowing our noses, are making our eyes bright. There's like it's and adding lip fillers to our lips and like basically creating the Kardashian template in
Yes.
all of the new it's like every day every week there's a new filter on Instagram that they put in your story like right next to like just the one that's plain, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like right on the right of it. I don't know if you ever check, but it's just like, why do you guys keep promoting this? And obviously they keep promoting it because people keep buying into it, so it's not that it's just them. I remember a time where that wasn't at the forefront. You had to find those filters. You had to really look for that.
Right.
But now, because everybody wants to look like,
Right.
like this, it's becoming, it's just unsettling. And I feel like, especially some of my Black friends, my Black, gorgeous, naturally beautiful sisters, keep putting these filters on them. And I'm like, y'all got to stop. Like, I get it. Sometimes I think it's, people are doing it for fun, and I get that, and that's whatever. But when it becomes every day, you're basically telling the world, I don't like my natural born features. I want to look like the European standard that Instagram and whomever else is behind these filters keep projecting onto me, keep making me buy into. And it's horrible. I hate it.
I think my irritation with it more is just again with the lip thing and certain fillers and
Hmm.
things and how black people's like faces are naturally structured. I think
Hmm.
what the most irritating part of it is like now it's like a minstrel show. And I know that sound people are like, you're being really dramatic and you're over exaggerating. And I'm like, no, like niggas was put in cages and
Hmm.
and like human zoos because of the way that their body was shaped naturally, and like they
Hmm.
had really full lips and big eyes and all
Right.
these things that we were, like that we were told were ugly. And now it's like, oh, at the moment, which this has been a long moment, but I just have a huge issue with that. And it's mind boggling to me. And I feel like a lot of these spaces, I said this yesterday on other podcasts, all of that shit exists because one, the cis hetero black men and women, like they allow those
Hmm.
spaces to be created because they subscribe to that shit and they think it's fly.
Hmm.
And they always think it's like, oh, well, this person looks this way or they're getting money. And I'm like,
Right.
but they're getting money exploiting and appropriating
Hmm.
us. But when
Right.
we're told that there's not a market for us, and I'm like, wait, I I can hold up this magazine. Yes, it is. But because these are my features,
These are my features.
Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
it's
make it make
it
sense.
make it make sense. At the end of the day, y'all can't make it make sense because you know what you're doing. And you're picking apart bodies. You're picking apart, you know, I had a friend, not a friend, but someone once say to me, well, the prettiest people in the world are the ones that are mixed with black and white, or that are not of one pure race. And I was like, that's inherently fucked up. Like you don't get to pick and choose like different features from different people and go, well, that's beautiful. You can throw the rest of that away. Well, I
Right.
will take that, but you can throw the rest of that away.
Exactly.
That is basically what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
And with people, my thing is people can look however they want to look. I don't have an issue with you paying thousands of dollars to look a certain way that you feel good about yourself in the morning, in the night, in the middle of the day. That's
Right.
fine with me. But I have a problem with the world glorifying it. And I have a problem with the world basically sending this message of what you were naturally born with isn't good enough.
Yeah.
So, and with Black culture, and what they've always done to our culture is rape it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
So that's why for Black people, it is even more offensive. It's even more annoying because y'all are quite literally just picking the Black body apart
Mm-hmm.
once again, figuratively speaking and physically speaking. And it's just gotta stop. We have to make natural beauty. We have to make what you look like naturally like we have to make that the main thing again. We can't keep adding these filters where the nose is like this and the lips are like this and the cheekbones are super raised. And it's just like,
Right.
come on, man. Like, what are y'all teaching these kids? And we all trying to move out of that. So it's like just have the filter with the stars and shit. Do the starry filter shit. And if you don't have clear skin and you working on having clear skin, do the glowy one. But don't start changing the features of people's faces. That's the part where it looks weird.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I feel like also too that I feel like as far as like media wise, we still are kind of in that space where even like some of our biggest stars per se uh
Mm-hmm.
are kind of in that realm of like a Holly Berry. And it's not a lot of girls that look like, I guess there are some, like you have like Gabrielle Union, you have an Angela Bassett, you have your Whoopi Goldbergs, which people consistently say,
Nia Long.
yes. So
Mm-hmm.
there's like a few, there are few far in between, but I feel like we have to get in a space of where we accept ourselves. And I feel like Black people, we are trying to work towards that. And I know that again, the work is not done,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to get in the space of where we like who we are and what we have to offer and building each other up,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like sometimes people don't realize the traumatic experiences that have happened to
Mm-hmm.
them, whether it be like a jokey conversation or your mama calling you ugly, your daddy
Right.
calling you XYZ, or if he's around,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like that is how we navigate throughout life, holding on to those things, because we I still talk to old people that don't believe in therapy. It's just like, pray about it. And I'm just like, but I still gotta
Mm-hmm.
pray and do the work. So at some point, it just, if God, you can't pray things away.
Yeah, they don't have that. Look, that generation don't have no concept of any kind of talking throughout your feelings. They on some, well, I'd rather die this way. I mean, really, they're good. They're set. They're not open to learning new information that could potentially alter their life for the better.
Yep.
It's scary. I think they think it's scary to see what's on the other side, to even know that it could get better, because they built their whole life on what they accepted and what is. And that's where our generation comes in, and we just like, oh, wait, there's actually something over there. Because we're curious, and we're like, wait, what's through that door? And they're like, don't touch it. We've been told not to touch it. Well, you've been told not to touch it. We about to see. And I think that that's when we opened up Pandora's box, and we've like, oh, wow, there's so much work to do. Nothing is what we thought it was.
It's
And
just,
even just, yeah.
I think it's just that I want so much better for us.
Yeah.
I want Black people to also stop being like so forgiving and so inclusive. And
Yep.
it's like, and I think that there's this narrative like, well, in order to make things better for us, we have to be able to forgive and move on from it.
Man,
And
listen.
I'm like, nigga, I'm still trying to get these reparations.
Look, I can forgive so that I can forgive to an extent of, I think people confuse forgiving and forgetting.
Yes.
Like, I can forgive for my mental health, because that's good for my mental health and it's good for my soul and my spirit, because if I didn't forgive, I'd be out here right now knocking somebody's white head off. Real talk.
Yeah.
So there's a level of forgiveness there. But I'm not going to forget, because if I forget, history will repeat itself.
Right.
And we will find ourselves talking about the same thing we've been talking about for forever.
Yeah.
And that goes to show, like, our generation, I think we're like on some, no, Black Lives Matter was not just for June 2020 and July 2020. Black Lives Matter is forever. And that's what we need to do as a community. We need to start having that consistent narrative with each other about, there is no forgetting, sis. We know it's painful. That trauma is what it is. We all suffer from PTSD because of this, like, when it comes to that. But your trauma is not by yourself. You have millions of people who are sharing it with you across the globe at this point. Been at this point. Racism is all over the world. That's the true pandemic.
Right.
But I think, being able as a collective, because I do find that Black people in America can be easily, like, I don't know how you want to say it, like, their guards are put down very easily, and like, one white person has this awakening and we just want to coddle them once they do. And it's like, okay, listen, for that type of group that has access to almost everything in the world, information and all that shit, and the moment they have this cute little inherent epiphany, the world stops for them. No, they're on their own. They need to figure that out on their own. Right. Like, if they're looking at people as human, which is another thing, do white people see Black people as human? Some will say, oh my God, of course I know.
Oh my gosh,
it's ridiculous.
It's the voice for me.
Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life.
Right.
But it's like, but to test that theory, a Black person gets killed on camera, or we see another trauma stuff that we shouldn't really be looking at, but I don't think media realizes, or maybe they do, that they're normalizing the killing of Black lives. And in my opinion, even as Black people, I think we're like, well, nothing, they're gone. I think we're so used to it. We're so used to that being that. And so white people can't tell me that they see it. I'm sorry. They can't tell me they see me as completely human.
Yeah.
Just because they're always shocked when I know how to do something. It's like, oh my God, my monkey can do sign language. Oh my
And they
God.
can do it better than me. Like, oh my gosh, like make it make sense. Like they just
And that's what it is. A lot of people are gonna sit here and look at this and be like, this is ridiculous. It's not. People gotta really be honest with themselves. I've had to be honest with myself as a Black person looking at my own community.
Mhm.
Like there are moments I had to be like, ooh, check yourself.
Yeah,
Ooh, check yourself. Because you've been programmed to look at your community this way.
yeah,
Even though you love yourself, you love your community, but to what extent?
yeah,
And this thing that has been perpetuated throughout the years, this visual, this idea that have been perpetuated of us hating ourselves and not liking ourselves. That's why it's so hard for Black people to come together on issues like colorism and things like that, because we're still trying to make sure we really like ourselves, or
Mhm.
if we even realize what it means to be Black. Like,
Right, right. And with that, I feel that there are a group of us that are trying to take a step in the right direction, but it's
mm-hmm,
still people that want to, that recognize certain things, or they think that success comes
mm-hmm,
at like a certain cost, and so they have to do certain things because they feel
mm.
like if I get reached this top, then white people, I will be the exception. And we
Oh,
see it.
Candace Owens,
I'm like, we see it time again with people like her or a Stacey Dash. Hell, look at that shit that happened at the Capitol, where that nigga
Terry
that is
Crews.
in jail, they denied him bail. They ain't getting that motherfucker organic food. They did not release him into the custody of his mother or father. He is sitting in a jail cell, which he should be because he did commit treason. But the rest of
Where
those,
the other white folks? Where the other white folks is?
well, the white boy, the one white boy, still in, he, like I said, has gotten organic food, and then y'all letting everybody else go home. But I'm like, dog, like you took mail, you took a,
That is a federal
that
offense.
is a federal offense. You smeared shit onto. Well, just white people are just, they are just aliens.
Barbaric,
I just,
barbaric.
and y'all
Y'all said
call
we're
black people.
savages.
That's what I.
We're savages, sis. I would. Hell no. I'm the type of nigga to be like, you need to take your shoes off before you walk in my house, cause I live in Koreatown, and that shit all up and down the sidewalk. You're not gonna be walking up in my house with shit at the bottom of your no. So if somebody ever broke into my office and smeared shit on my walls, honey, they wouldn't make it to jail. That'd be a death sentence right then and there.
Yes.
And if I had that power, I'd be like, and who gonna, I guess, suspend me for 2 weeks, like they do the rest of us when they kill Black lives. You've been suspended, sir. Come on. We're really, what they're saying is, listen, we're just waiting for this Black Lives Matter shit to calm
Yeah.
down, then we'll give you
Yeah.
your job back.
Yeah. No, seriously.
That's what they're saying, bro.
But see,
People sitting over here.
and it's just like, and then it's like when we are still furious about things, it's like they don't understand. Prime example, I have a great story. Story time. After Mike Brown was killed,
Mm-hmm.
after Darren Wilson lost his job, and now a close family friend has a child with an Anglo Saxon woman. She's friends with Darren Wilson's wife. She wanted to invite them to her child's birthday party. But
You
they
have
did
got.
not understand why her Black husband, his Black family, was shutting that shit down. And was like, well, she didn't do it, and that's not what happened. No, I don't give a fuck. That nigga shot that little boy in his back. And then didn't call for backup right away. Y'all left his body laying on that hot ass asphalt in the middle of summer in St. Louis. Bitch, don't tell me what it ain't, and what it is.
Y'all treated these Black bodies like they meant nothing. It literally takes me back to slavery days where we were in ships. It was only so much room for so many people, and they crammed us in there like animals.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us did not make it and were found dead in their own feces and put over the ship and into the water. No proper burial, no prayer was said. They were just thrown away. People got to understand. I'm getting emotional. People got to understand why we will not let up on this, why we can't let the narrative simmer down, why we can't let words mean so much in this society. And that's why people have to understand why we won't let up.
Exactly.
Why Candace Owens is canceled, in our opinion, because she lets her narrative let up because she's married to a white man and she's listen, I don't even have a problem with you being Republican. I don't have a problem with you being Republican. My thing is, you can be Republican and not let the narrative of Black lives slow down on your end too.
Right.
I can be a proud Black Republican because really it's just Republicans are supposed to represent the fact that they don't let the government run their lives. Like they fight for whatever. That's what they're supposed to stand for. Now they just look like the white supremacist group. But there's nothing wrong with picking a political party. I just think that a lot of times some Black folks get to a certain place in their life, i.e. Kanye West, and they get a little distorted on how they forget that just because you're rich and you got money that these white folks love you. No, they trying to figure out how they can make money off of you. What?
I listen. And people are just like, you can't separate certain, like, his music from his everyday life. I'm like, listen, I was at that point at one point when he was running up on stages, taking mics, lashing out, but you lost me when you went to TMZ saying that shit to Van Jones, saying that slavery was a choice. And actually it's not Van Jones, it's Van Lathan. Like, I'm like, I always get, it's the last.
Yeah, no, it's because I know of Van Jones too. It just, that feels natural. I feel it.
Yeah, and I'm like, because I and that's the thing for me, and I'm just, and the fact that he let his mouth change his entire life, because he didn't take a moment to think before he's opened his mouth. And I'm just like, at this point, I need a formal apology from this motherfucker to even be able to enjoy, something without just feeling guilty.
It's like it's I got chills from that. I just people remember the movie Undercover Brother?
Wait.
Undercover Brother.
Yes, the funny one.
Yeah, where basically everything was a conspiracy. It was like you had a conspiracy brother that was Dave Chappelle. Yeah. I look back on that movie and I still feel like it's pretty accurate. It was with Eddie Griffith. And
so I was trying to think of his name. I'm like, the nigga who Bentley got repoed. Because he had the show on VH1. I'm trying to say.
Oh my God. Eddie Griffith. And he got caught up in this white world and white things. Listen, sometimes the finer things in life is around white folks. Let's just put it that way. It would make sense because they run a lot of the world. They've conquered so many different peoples and civilizations, stole it from people, killed many, many people. That's just the way the history books, that's just the way it has been. However, we are finally in a space where we've been educated. We know a lot more than we did before. Thank you to our ancestors who did fight for us to have an education that didn't let up, Ruby Bridges, W.E. Du Bois, like so many people before us that helped us get to where we are. Where yes, now we're speaking your language. We're speaking your white language now. So you can't tell us you don't understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
We are speaking your language. So the Oblivious Act and I don't, well, what do you mean? We can't hold space for that anymore. We
Exactly.
need you to read the same history books you forced us to read. Except we need you to read the ones that we didn't get to read and do even more research. We got Google now. There's so much stuff. Let's give the lady the wrote the Matrix, Stacey McAdams. Let's give her the floor. She'll teach y'all a thing or two. It's go to No White Saviors page on Instagram. That's a great one too. It's so many avenues of information, and I feel like Black people, what is the word I'm looking for? They disengage, not disengage, but disarm,
Okay.
disarm Black people in their passion and in their feelings about it, and that's the thing that's where things kind of fall off. And believe me when I tell you, the rest of the world watches Black people
All the time.
all the time. When
And,
we when
and
we
that be the
protest, the rest of the world be protesting. That's how powerful our voices are.
I just
I had a conversation with someone the other day. They were talking about, Black people, like, don't you think, and she was like, don't you think that Black people just get too emotional over things? Like look at the Jews, look at this person, look at that person. I say, well, the difference between those communities and our community when it comes to making our voices heard is a lot of the immigrants that come over here, which weren't slaves, a lot of the immigrants that come over here blend in.
yeah.
They focus on blending in. They don't focus on standing out. They
Yeah.
just be like, all right, we'll take the scraps you give us and we'll make something of it. Black people do that too, but we're also like, yeah, fuck this blending in shit. Like,
Right.
no. And then you'll have other people from different communities be like, yeah, we don't want to blend in either. And it's like, yeah, but you did that off the backs of us again, once again, copying our protests, copying our voices. It's always that one person that gets shunned for speaking up, and then the other person speaks up, and they're like, well, we'll take you. Well, okay, well,
And
come on, man.
a lot a two is when all of this has been happening, when we look at the past 4 years,
Mm,
and you're seeing this thing, uh 45 spew all of
mm-hmm.
this hate, and you seeing like Republicans like perpetuate that shit,
Mm-hmm.
and you're seeing, like certain groups like exiled, and then you're seeing those disadvantaged groups turn around and do fuck shit to Black people. That'd be the other thing. And I tell them not to group us in as people of color, because I'm not like them. I'm Black. I'm African American.
Mm-hmm.
Because those people don't, they still feel like they have the upper hand because they have assimilated so much. Because think about it, like how society and white supremacy was built. White people are always going to be up here, though they really are down here. They are the weakest.
Yeah.
They have, it's really like when you see a white person, they have no seasoning, they have no culture, they don't have
Mm-hmm.
any of these things that
Mm-hmm.
we had to create. And
Mm-hmm.
y'all had decades, centuries up on us where y'all oppressed us, and we within even slavery, we've created things like the old Negro spirituals. Because y'all
Mm-hmm.
forced us to subscribe to y'all religion.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't teach us to read. Y'all gave us the scraps. And we still overcame. Black people are so resilient. And I think that we forget that at times.
Mm-hmm. Like people like Candace Owens, I just want to be like, girl, let me hug you. Let me show you what a real hug is. Let me show you what real love feels like. Cause you so caught up in white world, you didn't been whitewashed, and it's we get it, sis. We all been there. I've been in predominantly white schools at some point. I know what that's like. I
Yeah.
know what it's like to stand out. I know what it's like to blend in. I know what it's like
Yep.
to, you know what I mean? I get it. but you got to come on home, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, your ass wasn't even a speaker at the fucking convention that you was rallying for. Trump didn't bring you in to talk about nothing. I would have thought I would have thought of all the black folks he could have had rallying for his cause, it would have been you. But clearly it was not.
That's always how it is. And then their feelings are hurt.
You
And
get dropped on your ass, and then you look at us like, save me, black people. Yeah, yeah,
I'm
no,
tired,
no, no. You
listen, I don't have that energy no more. That's not my job. I am not nobody's. I'm tired of people turning toward us. I'm tired of black women always having to say the fucking day. We
mm-hmm.
tired.
Ain't saving shit.
I'm tired of y'all being dumb. And it's just like we always have to swoop in, and then people are always confused
Mm-hmm.
that we always show up and show out, and it's just like
All
y'all
black people trying to do is unveil the truth. While we trying to do that, I just feel like once the truth comes out about so much, especially even the image of Jesus, right? As simple as that, the whole cornerstone of you white folks' religion, acknowledging and changing the fact that Jesus is a black man. Y'all been praying to a black man this entire time. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I just want you to know Jesus was black. He was he was probably your color, my color. He was one right there, right in
yeah.
there.
I
Maybe even browner, because honestly,
yeah, I
it
was
was
like,
outside.
I'm like, back in those times, he was probably darker.
Yeah, because like light-skinned people, I feel like light-skinned people started to become a thing because we started to move up north, like Rome and Italy. But people were still black,
Or they
because
was
that
like,
was
God,
still, we hadn't evolved all the way yet. And for what I am remembering, I don't even think Pangea happened yet,
no.
where the things were separated. I truly believe, man, look. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Y'all here playing. And it is what it is. We cannot change history and the horrible things that have happened. It has happened. But we do need to rewrite history, and we do need to start acknowledging who was who and what they look like, and stop telling these stories of Alexander the Great and all these other. They were not white people. They were not white. Socrates, they were not white.
Definitely not
Y'all
Socrates.
gotta stop doing this. Y'all here.
Hell, listen, even Beethoven, sis.
What? His hair looked like mine. He was a mulatto. He was something. He was
Yeah,
a
he
he
was
was a
like,
mixed black person.
man, I'm
Boy,
telling
I
you,
watched that Beethoven movie back in the day when I was young, in music class, and I was like,
this ain't it.
come on, man. The one thing about black people you gonna know, we always gonna musically enhance and change the world. I think that's truly something, a gift of ours. Our art, our artistic and acoustic ear is unmatched.
Yeah.
It's unmatched. And they know it too. They know it too. That's why I can't.
There was a reason when you even as recent as the fucking 50s and 60s, dog, when they was stealing, they would hear Big Mama Thornton or something that like the Temps would do or Otis Redding, and would
Mm-hmm.
take that shit like Elvis Presley, all of them. And was trying to like make it their own, and it was still like lacking on so many levels.
So just no seasoning.
And,
Just
and,
no
and
seasoning.
Elvis shit was only even popping because the nigga was hip thrusting.
I'm gonna be honest. The only other group of people, Lord forgive me. The only other group of people that have some seasoning in their music due to black people is the lemon pepper group, the Asians. They be adding lemon pepper to their shit. So it be kind of fire. Like the K-pop, I be like, all right. I mean, it's just a remake of black everything, but
So listen, while we're here and you are a musician,
yeah.
artist, it's certain things I can't get with. It be K-pop, it's
Mm-hmm.
still house techno. I just can't do it. And honestly, I still feel
Mm-hmm.
like kind of at this moment, I was going through trying to find like new artists, like people to listen to. I am very bored. Like I mean, and I feel like okay, in quarantine, I know that it has been a very tumultuous time for us all. I recognize that, but there has been so many things that have happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like music should be popping because you kind of had a second to like perfect this shit. And even as far
Mm-hmm.
as like virtual concerts, like shout out to Chloe and Halle because
Mm-hmm.
I keep Ungodly Hour on repeat
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, no, they're
visually,
yeah.
well, I mean, and shout out to Beyonce because Beyonce is gonna give you some visuals.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everything else, I'm kind
She
of
set them girls up for
yeah,
success for sure.
yes.
But they were also naturally gifted, write their own songs, things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. And produce. So um you asking me how I feel about the others outside of our music?
Yes. Or as a whole, like, how are you feeling? Because
I
I know
just
you
feel
are
like
working
there's
on
not enough.
things, and I can't wait. It's
Yeah,
just,
I'm working on the
I'm gonna,
late
I'm gonna need
bloomer.
I'm gonna need demos because I'm bored.
Man, look, I feel like all right, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to send you some demos of what I'm working on. My music, I'll say this. My music is a homage to um Gladys Knight, Nancy Wilson, Dorothy Dandridge, Dionne Warwick. I model Anita Baker, Whitney Houston. Like I literally embody and take from all of those different artists. Tamia, I like Tamia. Tamia always gave me a cool tone that I think just shows the range of black voices. I mean, but Whitney could have honestly Whitney encompassed all of it. My music is reminiscent of the 50s, 40s mixed with today. So I call myself modern classic.
Okay.
Um, and it's just a time where I think a lot of black women's voices started to emerge a lot more and be present in the music industry. And for some reason, my soul just calls to that time period. So my music sounds like that, but just modernized.
Okay.
Um, um, because I was a black middle class girl growing up in St. Louis. I was part of Jack and Jill, and
Oh, cute.
yeah,
Girl,
um,
barely made it in. You kind of pushing that brown paper bag, you know. I know they
yeah,
don't like that
girl.
demo. I know. That's
Right? No, I don't even.
I don't want y'all in my DMs attacking me. It was a joke.
No, listen. They listen. I was in Jack and Jill, and truth be told, it taught me a lot about prepare me for corporate world and just the language and how to move maneuver. We did etiquette classes. We did a lot of different things, and then a lot of community service. So Jack and Jill is actually dope in that way. But I'll just say I got exposed to a lot of my personality is not of what you think a typical black girl's personality is going to be. And so I listened to, yes, on one breath, I could listen to Foxy Brown and listen to Tupac and listen to D'Angelo. And then on the other breath, I'm listening to Joni Mitchell and Barbara Streisand and musical
Favorite
theater.
Barbara Streisand song.
Huh?
What's your favorite Barbara Streisand song?
Um, The Way We Were.
You sleeping on Guilty.
Wait,
See,
because we got nothing to be guilty of. Our love
will climb
is
any
on any mountain
mountain.
near or far.
Yes.
We are, and we'll never let it end. We are devotion. Cause we got, cause we got nothing. Cause we got.
Yes.
No, yeah, no.
I tell
Listen,
people
I'm
all the time, I'm like, y'all want to hear some really good white R&B? Visit that album.
Tina Marie, Barbara Streisand.
Yes, because
Uh,
that is, I have that album on vinyl and it goes so hard.
Hard, and that's why, like I said, I don't mind, that works for me. That's somebody you could tell those white artists studied the craft and made
Yep.
it their own. And to me, that is what white people just need to do in general.
Yep.
You can like something, don't copy it. Have your own. We know the difference between a copycat, and we know the difference between someone who mixed their soul in with that, and they respected each side. You know what I mean? I think that's why I like Tina Marie and why I like Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
And even Joni
He
Mitchell. I love
more
Joni
a
Mitchell.
JoJo
Or
because
JoJo.
she
You
has.
could tell she naturally sounds like that.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you got Yeba, you got some other amazing white singers that just like, oh shit, you out here. Like,
That's the only thing that's nice we gonna say about y'all. Moving on.
yeah. Right. Cause too much. They get more credit than we do on that shit.
Oh no.
Um
Just like Cry Me a River and them vocals being Marsha Ambrosia's. And niggas was so mad. And I'm like, y'all really? Lord.
they just don't give us enough, but I yeah, I feel like the music out today is just it's just they're trying to chase this original feeling that we created back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
I think they're trying to recreate that feeling and that nostalgia again.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not Black people's music can't really be recreated. It just is what it is. You had it's like you had to be there.
Yeah.
You know, you had to be there. You had to experience it for yourself, because trying to take it's just like these filters, trying to take elements of Black music and try to, it doesn't work. There's always something missing. There's always something that's like, oh, I don't know why I can't,
Yeah.
but you like it. You like it. The aesthetic is cool, but you don't, it's like eating a Pop-Tart. It's just like there and gone in a second, or a pizza roll. It's there. It's good for the moment, but it doesn't last. And so even with Michael, who had all his shit going on with him, he was still a Black man and created music, and undeniable to the point where even kids that didn't even grow up in the time of Michael are going through Michael phases that we went through. When we went through that magic and mystique of Michael, we're like, oh my God, Michael. They going through it too still.
Yeah.
Like, Michael's so dope. Oh my God, I just get chills. Oh, I could watch Thriller over and over. I could watch Moonwalker over and over. Because that magic that we carried, no one can replace. They've been trying to figure it out for forever.
But I think that speaks to it's just certain levels that are missing, like as far as like even some of the cool artists nowadays, like as far as like artist development, it's certain things that just some people just don't get. I think that's also why we love Beyonce so much.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
and she took the time, because when you see where she was when we first got No 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 to Black Parade, it's like, whew, like.
Well, and she breaks that idea that Black people are lazy.
Yeah.
All we hear about is that we're lazy or that we can't do this, and we do shit in our sleep. Yeah. So I don't even know why y'all, but some Black people believe that about themselves. And mental health in the Black community has definitely been tampered with, and how we view ourselves and what we think about ourselves. We have these amazing ideas. Shit. We have so much shit stolen from us that we do get depressed, and we're like, why even try? Because y'all gonna steal it anyway and not give us credit.
Right.
But then you have people like Beyonce or the Oprahs of the world that show us time and time again, no matter what they don't give me credit for, I'm still shining on these. Like, man, don't let this discourage you from working and doing they want you to silence yourself. They want you to sleep on your ideas so that they can take them from you and actually make something of it. That's just how it is, man. That's as I'm reading this book of our mother here.
Oh, hi Maya.
Hi Maya. But yeah, just like Black excellence, it's a real thing. It will always be a real thing. I think Black people need to wake up from our slumber. I know it's hard, but you got people here that are going to help you
Yeah.
guide you into a healthy mental space, a healthy heart space,
Yeah.
and heads, yeah, just spiritual space. And we're here to help. It is overwhelming though, because I know we all go to sleep with these ideas and dreams, and we get overwhelmed, you know what I mean, by all the talent and direct access to the source or where we get our ideas from.
Yeah. And so
And
we end up in our heads too, because and thinking about, okay, well, I don't have this, how can I even execute this idea? And then
right.
we have to remember that when you cultivate your circles,
Yeah.
and people that really fuck with you, they gonna make sure that shit get done. They gonna help you.
Mhm.
They gonna put you in contact with the person, whatever it is that they can do for you.
Yeah.
They will make sure it gets done. It's just
Yeah.
about even speaking it, because when you speak it and you consistently speak it, it becomes a real thing, because you start to
Yeah.
believe it and manifest it too. It's about, we always want to see results right away. Sometimes things, Rome wasn't built in a day. I know that's so cliche, but it really wasn't built in a day, and things take time, and a lot. Beyonce is a perfect example of that. Like, I love it. Like, sis is, she literally, like, when you see the time, the effort, and slow and steady really does win the race, because you will see the reward in the end. And remember,
Yeah.
why are you doing it? Are you doing it for accolades, or are you really doing it to really feel good about yourself because you're doing
Mhm.
something that you love?
Mhm. Exactly, man. That's where we're at. Like, black boys and girls, do not give up. We really
Oh,
are here. The consciousness is raised. You are not alone in your thoughts.
nope.
I'm not focused on what these white folks is doing. I wouldn't put your energy there either. Only put your energy when we get ready to head into the Senate and we need some laws to get passed. That's when we really gotta
And while
um
we're here with that, we need more
mhm.
people that look like us,
Yeah.
and that think like us, that are really going to advocate from us for us.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have so many talented people that always, well, this doesn't pay enough, or it's this
Mhm.
or that. But I'm like, even something like a St. Louis, we should be owning that shit for real. It's so inexpensive to buy properties. We need to get those old people out that ain't doing the
Mhm.
job, and
Mhm.
making shit really better for us, and start reinvesting in ourselves, because at the end of the day, we
Yep.
all we got.
We all we got. That's some like
I
Saint
mean,
Lunatics.
I
Saint
mean,
Lunatics.
seriously, we really are. Because
Yeah.
they don't care.
Yeah.
It don't matter what you do, how much you sell your soul, you still a nigga, and they not gonna care.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the piece that we gotta love on each other, and we gotta be patient with each other too, in a way too. We just gotta share more love and understand. A lot of us naturally with living in America are gonna be misguided on how we view ourselves
Yep,
naturally. Um, and like I said, with politics and whatever group you affiliate yourself with, just at the end of the day, just remember you black.
yep,
So you're no more safe being a Democrat than you are being a Republican. It doesn't matter.
nope,
You have to think for yourself. You have to start understanding how the system was set up against you,
yep,
regardless. Just I think for if I were anyone these days, a black person these days, just I wouldn't affiliate with no party. I would just be like, look, I'm out here just trying to get unfair, unjust laws out of here so I can get ones in that protect,
yep,
and I think too, other black people like Candace Owens need to stop being in denial about systematic racism and and not acknowledging that. It's just like you got to. It's too obvious.
It's
So
it's when people say that, I always tell people, I'm like, look at the number of Black female entrepreneurs. There is
yeah,
a reason why that number is so great, because a lot of the spaces that they were in, they took what they learned. And yeah, they probably, a lot of them, the ones that I speak to, they were in corporate spaces like myself, that
yeah,
wanted more. and reach that glass ceiling that they knew they were never going to break through, no matter how hard they tried, no matter how much they did the overtime and put in all the extra work. So that's how you have those spaces like that, where it's just like, well, fuck it, I got everything I got from here. I can do this shit on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
who
That's it.
I say that shit, I'm just like, dog, suck a dick and die, because you made it. You made it all the way up. Like that, there are numbers that prove, like, the numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers
Like,
don't
yeah,
lie.
man. People be so quick. It's a lot. You have a lot of people, I guess they so tired. They so tired of having a conversation about racism. They're just like, is everyone really racist? Like, come on. And I get it. Like, if you exhausted, imagine how we feel.
I wake up. I gotta
I
listen.
wake up, I gotta walk outside and roll the dice every day.
I
And
don't know. I don't know if some random white person that don't know me, that I ain't never cussed out, because I'll be cussing them out. I don't know if how they gonna act today. Are they gonna spit on me? Or they gonna try to karate chop me? Or they gonna shoot me just because they feel like they can?
yeah,
When I
like
get in my car, when I
and not even just white folks. I don't trust none of you Latinas, Mexicans, all y'all. Anyone that is not black, I have to look at all y'all funny. Unfortunately,
yeah,
unfortunately, that's just what it is. Like I have to be like,
and they have to respect that too, just because we again have been sold out on so many levels,
mm-hmm,
just off the based off the fact that we are black and brilliant.
yeah,
So
pretty much.
I'm just like, look, walk them
I
out
don't know.
today.
Yeah, I can't call it. I can't call it, but yeah, the topic in which needs to be addressed within a black community too is just the colorism and understanding that piece. And Danny Lay just got some flack for the Yellow Bone song that she came out with, and she still was like, I mean, I have black friends. And I was like, girl, you Dominican, you ain't nothing but a water nigga. Y'all Dominicans gonna get through y'all heads, y'all black.
Some of
It
them,
ain't no difference from me being mixed.
some of them recognize it, but it's the same thing with like,
Well, look at Sammy Sosa. He done did what he done did to himself. I
could you imagine waking up to his face every day?
would be like, what happened?
Like I would jump every morning, just like, oh my
Did
God.
you smear mayonnaise all over your? Does
Like,
this come off?
but that's the thing. It's just like, you do realize that don't change your DNA. You didn't change that. Don't change your features. No, nothing. Like, man, it's a cold world out
But
here.
I don't blame her for having the confidence she does because black men perpetuate that shit.
That's what I was saying. But again, that's the part. And people keep saying that no, that's not true, but it is.
It is. What you
It,
mean? It's not true. It is very true.
it is so true.
Look at the early 2000s when every video was in Miami and it was none but Latina girls, racially ambiguous mixed with black girls.
Yeah,
Not all the way black. They just was kind of black. Come
yeah.
on, man. Come
It's
on, man.
I
Y'all
get.
gotta chill, man.
I listen. I'm exhausted talking about it. Like,
Girl.
and I feel like it's a conversation that I'm gonna consistently have to the day I die, because
Pretty
they
much.
not gonna get it, and I'm just like,
They pretty much, and it's funny because like I fall in that category of I could benefit or I could not. It just depends on who I'm dealing with. But and you know me, like I do not with that. I'm just like, if you fuck with me because you genuinely think I'm whatever.
and
But I can normally tell when someone fucks with me on some like, ooh, what are you mixed? If you lead with that, I'm already out. I'm
yeah,
already out the game. Like, okay,
it
I'm
really
good.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, nah,
It doesn't.
man. And you know, I feel bad for mixed women who don't try to benefit or don't care about what they look like. They really just want to be seen as, talented at what they do or what respected for their mind.
Right.
And they become the object of someone's affection and people obsess over
Mhm.
that. that shit can be dangerous. I have to say I've experienced stalker vibes from black men, for certain black men who immediately make you their wifey type, or it just like this obsession that gets weird. It gets weird and you feel defiled. You feel like I'm not seen. Fuck if white people see you as human. Black people or black men that's trying to date you don't see you as human, see you as a Barbie doll or a porcelain doll they just put on their shelf.
Yep.
And you just sitting there like trophy looking, kick the dust off you every now and then. Like, what? Hell no. Hell no.
It is really like that. And I mean, I've experienced that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, man, like you're supposed to be looking out for me. You're supposed to I should feel safe
Oh.
with you. And it's just like,
You like the way I look, but you're not paying attention to me.
yeah, yeah. It's cold world, man.
Yeah. So yeah. So how you feeling? What's the
I'm good. Listen, I'm working from home today.
like? Well,
I'm life is good. Just trying to get my next my re-up of my candles out and just trying to
mm-hmm.
podcast and stay busy, like
Yeah.
just trying to stay
Same.
at this and push it and be
Mm-hmm.
consistent, because when it pops, because it's popping now. But
It's popping now.
you ain't gonna be listen, you're gonna have to get me through my assistant unless you have my personal line. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be busy.
No, yeah, man. I'm trying to fill up my time with things that matter and things that help elevate my conscious and my vibration.
Yes.
That's just what I'm on, man. A lot of people don't realize person I'm becoming ain't no room. Ain't really much room like it used to be.
It
Them
is
boundaries is real.
really real. Really real.
So get the time you got in with me now, because it's like I got things to do. I'm on the move, man. I'm on the move. So
It really is like that. But listen,
yeah.
I definitely want to have you back.
Yes, it'll be
When
so
that
good.
EP drop and all of that stuff, and we can dissect the songs and all.
Yes,
Have a
late
good
bloomer.
yes, and you gonna show up and show all the way out,
I'm
and
excited. That's
yeah,
gonna be dope.
it's
I'm excited. I'm excited because Annie Miller's taking a long time. Late Bloomer is the name of the EP / I really think it's just gonna be an album, to be honest with you. And it's really it's a story about myself and navigating my 20s. Each song is a representation of a time where I was exploring a new idea, exploring something, and we've all been there. We've all been there. So
I
we'll
know.
see. We'll see.
These 20 somethings have been like an interesting ride.
Yeah.
As I'm
Yeah.
not in my 20s anymore. And
Yeah.
when I look back on my 20s, I'm like, man,
If I knew what I knew now,
yeah.
if I knew what I would have knew now, I would have told my 20-something-year-old self, girl, it ain't worth it. Move on. Girl, you can't fix him. Move on. Just all of the things.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't even think my shit. I moved across the country at 22. So I've been here for 10 years. So I just it's so many crazy things that have happened, right? Because when I think about it, I experienced my 20s in LA. So it's different.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And
I experienced half of my 20s in LA, like quite literally like half. The
man,
first half was in Boston.
oh,
And that was a huge learning experience. But half of my 20s was in LA, and I felt like a late bloomer when it came to that, because I didn't really get into much until when I really got to here. I was like, oh, and LA will bring some things out of you. LA will bring some things out of you. You find yourself being like, whoa, who am I? Like, was this in me the whole time? And it just took me to get over here to figure it out,
I
or
like it will make or break you. That's what
girl.
I tell people. It is definitely something that is not for the faint of heart. It's really not. And I wouldn't have it no other way. It's that shiny
Yeah.
to say,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I'm
I would do
still
it all
me.
over again. I
I'm
would be,
still talking with people like you. I'm still, yeah, I'm still me.
yeah.
I'm still me. Yeah.
I
So
love,
yeah,
I
I love you.
yes, and I can't wait to have you back. And again, tell everybody where they can find you on social so they can look out and you know,
Oh yes.
don't be a stalker. Don't be harassing her in her DMs, please.
Oh right. I listen, let me just clarify. I am not no I'm not popular on in that way. I'm not even thinking of myself on those celebrity stuff, but you know, just I'm a nice person and I'm never going to turn anybody away. I'm just never been that way. So don't take that as I'm trying to talk to you. Sometimes I'm just really being nice.
Yes, and people take it too far. And
Take it too far,
I'm like, you
man.
gave me a compliment. I said thank you, and now you're being creepy. Now I gotta block you. Great.
Now I gotta block you. Now, like, I feel like I can't post on my story without you hitting me up like, let's hang. And I really don't want to hang. I just want to live my life.
Oh, I really don't. No, I
you
don't.
know but you can find me on I am Annie Miller on Instagram. Also, I am Annie Miller on Twitter. If you're on Clubhouse, I'm Annie Miller on Clubhouse. But yeah, that's where you can find me. That's where I'm at right now. We'll see what happens. Late bloomer dropping in the spring. So
Hey, hey.
we thank you so much for having me too. This is awesome.
Thank you for coming on. I know this has been a tussle for like a few weeks, and we made
Yeah.
it work. And yeah, so I'm excited for you to be here, and I can't wait to see the levels that because that are coming, and you conquering everything. And I just want to remind
Girl.
all the listeners, watchers, hit subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you podcast.
Yes.
Give us 5 stars, like, share, because we be having a good time and we need more
We
people.
having a great time. And I'm gonna tell you this. Call me for the next one when we talk about relationships. I got tea.
We can make that work.
Let's figure it out.
I'm like, let me pull out my calendar and let's get it on the books.
That's the next one.
Oh,
Okay.
peace, y'all.
All right, bye.